Hello and thanks for joining us now at noon. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Here are the headlines we're following right now. Coming up, Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrives in Israel with his message of support, plus the latest developments on the ground. After almost 10 years, a project will soon be completed in Conway. More on the new upgrades to Markham Road in 7 minutes. And Little Rock held its first public meeting to discuss future plans on bringing more activity downtown. More on this and how you can get involved. We have more on those headlines soon, but first, meteorologist Tom Brennan is in the building, the chief actually. Tom, what are we seeing on this Friday Eve?
I feel like I never left.
Been
here a while, yeah? How about that? Well, Jurnee, we're starting the day off with clouds as expected, and these clouds will hang with us for this afternoon. I think they'll break up enough to allow some warming. We're looking at temperatures around the region only in the 60s, and they're fairly thick. Fingers crossed they break up and allow some sunshine. I projected a high today of about 80, but sometimes cloud cover has its own ideas, and it might stick around a little bit longer. According to what we're looking at future radar-wise, the clouds will break up a little this afternoon. I think some places will warm up into the middle 70s, if not close to 80 degrees. And here's where the Thursday planner looks for the rest of the day, with becoming partly cloudy by late afternoon, just enough warming there. 80 the high here in Little Rock, southeast wind at 6. We have big changes on the way. A big cold front is going to be moving through Arkansas tomorrow, returning us to more fall-like conditions. I'll have the timing of that front and what you can expect temperature-wise. That's coming up in just a few moments. Jurnee?
All right, Tom, thank you. Well, we start with the THV 11 update. Israel's military chief of staff spoke out for the first time since Saturday's attacks. He says the military did not meet the challenge of protecting the country. The death toll has climbed to 1,400. Now, we want to warn you, some of the images in this report are disturbing. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Tanks in southern Israel fired at targets in Gaza, part of Israel's retaliation for Saturday's barbaric attacks by Hamas. The terror group fired rockets of its own Thursday into the Israeli city of Sderot. In Gaza, as Israel's relentless air assault continues against Hamas, wounded Palestinian children crowd the hospitals.
They keep saying, leave the Gaza Strip. Where to? They bombed everything.
Israel says it won't end the Gaza siege, blocking food, fuel, and water from the territory until Israeli hostages are returned. Sharon Lifshitz's elderly parents are among those abducted.
We need your help. We need the world's help to bring those survivors back home now.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken traveled to Israel and met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today, pledging additional U.S. support and noting the situation is personal for him.
I come before you not only as the United States Secretary of State, but also as a Jew. I understand on a personal level the harrowing echoes that Hamas's massacres carry for Israeli Jews, indeed, for Jews everywhere.
Later at a donation center, he met with survivors of the dance party that Hamas attacked.
We lost a lot of our friends, close friends, and lots of family members.
He embraced the young woman, and a crowd of volunteers showed their appreciation. USA, USA. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, while in the Middle East, Blinken will also meet with King Abdullah of Jordan and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in an effort to prevent the conflict from widening. Now, the war between Israel and Hamas has a global effect on many, including Arkansans. As Jewish congregations are praying together, Arkansans with ties to the region fear for their family members. Now, government leaders are taking a stance. Governor Huckabee Sanders condemned the attack from Hamas and lowered flags in Arkansas to half-staff, while Mayor Frank Scott Jr. says he will increase police patrols around synagogues and mosques until further notice.
We always have security when we gather here for worship or study. It's important for me to emphasize that there is no current elevated risk or threat.
Little Rock FBI releasing a statement in part saying, "We are tracking closely the events in the Middle East. Hate crimes and violence against members of any community will not be tolerated." The FBI is also asking the public to report any suspicious activity. Well, right now, a group of lawmakers gathering at the state capitol to decide whether to approve Senator Jimmy Hickey's Jr.'s request for an audit over a controversial purchase of a podium by Governor Sarah Sanders' office. Now, this is video from that meeting, which just got underway about 30 minutes ago. THV11's Ian Russell was there following things for us this afternoon. The $19,000 podium was purchased back in June, reportedly using state funds. Last month, the governor dismissed any allegations that she or her office altered any records. However, new public documents show previous unpublished notes on Governor Sarah Sanders' purchase of the podium. In reviewing receipts and documents, a note attached to the purchase showed an obvious change that was not on the original paperwork, but rather added on September 15th.
This was never going to end. We were never going to get to the bottom of it until we had legislative audit, which most everybody knows them, that they're, although they work for the legislature, they maneuver and do investigations, basically separate from us.
The committee meeting started at 11:30 this morning. There is certainly no set time for how long the process could take. Again, THV11's Ian Russell is there, and we'll have more on air and online as we learn more. Now in Washington, Congress is on the verge of electing a new Speaker of the House as the Republican Party's decision remains split. House Republicans selecting Steve Scalise Wednesday as their nominee for Speaker of the House, with Scalise winning over Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan 113-99 in a private vote among Republicans to win the GOP nomination.
First order of business under Speaker Steve Scalise is going to bring a strong resolution expressing support for Israel. We've got a very bipartisan bill, the McCall-Meeks resolution, ready to go right away to express our support for Israel.
But enough Republicans say they still support Jordan, leaving Scalise short of the 217 votes needed. Jordan is a defender of former President Donald Trump and has Trump's endorsement. A vote for the speakership could happen as soon as today. Well, today, North Little Rock will remember the life of former Mayor Patrick Henry Hayes. He died last week at the age of 76. The public service will be held at the First Pentecostal Church on Calvary Road at 3 p.m. Hayes spent 24 years in public service, mostly as the mayor, but also as a member of the Arkansas House of Representatives. In Conway, major changes coming soon. A nearly decade-old project is near completion on Markham Street. The Jumpstart initiative aims to rework the space between Hendrix College and downtown Conway. Major pieces like the new road, expanded sidewalks, and bike lanes are already done. Also included are bigger drains to help with Conway's flooding problem in the downtown area. Bobby Kelly with the city says this is great for pedestrians as well.
Because by the time this thing is fully developed and by the time Markham Street is fully finished, folks will be able to leave Hendrix College by foot and have access to all the resources that they may need, whether it's shopping, dining, retail, you name it.
Well, Kelly says the goal is to have this open by spring of 2024. Well, there's a new master plan for downtown Little Rock in the works, and you can be in on it. Contractors with the firm tasked with growing and shaping the downtown core are in town this week. This whole process will take 9 months, but one of the first steps, hearing from the public last night.
There's not much activity here. It's pretty much for daytime use, coming out to get some lunch at the Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Carlette Bruce wishes there would be more work done along 9th Street, making it more appealing at all times of the day. She's one of many who came to the first public meeting on the Little Rock Downtown Master Plan.
This is a huge moment for downtown, and it can lay the foundation for the next decade or two to come. Daniel
Church is one of the associates for Sasaki, the company hired to create the master plan. And he's also from Little Rock.
It always feels warm and welcoming.
They will focus on 6 areas to improve: transportation, urban design, housing and workforce, open space, land use, and culture.
And when you go to other downtowns in other cities, there are a lot more people living downtown, and we want a plan to help deliver that for this city.
This week, Sasaki has walked around downtown to see what could be improved on, giving suggestions as well.
We also know the opportunities with the Arkansas River and the asset that exists there.
A great interest in a downtown grocery store. We've seen the desire to increase density.
And hopefuls like Carlette know the importance that a plan like this could have on the city.
For one thing, it drives economic growth, brings people to the city. And I think it has a deterrent on crime too when people have something to do.
Well, after this firm finishes its plan in 9 months, those recommendations will be brought before the Little Rock City Board of Directors, and then they'll vote on what aspects move forward. Well, dozens of Arkansans are out of hundreds, even thousands of dollars after paying to lease private hunting land in Polk County. Hunters, thinking they signed a contract to get sole hunting rights, quickly found out other people did the same thing. One woman reached out to THV 11 expressing frustrations after paying $1,000 to lease the land that she thought would be for just her and her family. Now she wants to make sure no one else falls victim.
We went up through the woods and we've seen a white sign on the fence that said, if you just previously leased this property, please call this number. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd. So I got out my phone and I called him, and then he told me what happened. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Apparently there's a lot of other people that have that same contract.
Well, the Polk County Sheriff's Office confirms a number of people have been impacted. We reached out to the State Attorney General's office. They say they've received a complaint about this business last year. Anyone impacted can reach out to the AG's office for help. Well, coming up, tips from a psychologist on how parents can talk with their kids about the situation in the Middle East.
And, oh, there we are. Hey, there's a member of my family. Look at the resemblance. High atop the RView 11 camp. Yeah, say cheese. It's a little overcast out there. Coming back with a look at your forecast, including our next minor rain chance and a big cold front that's going to really bring some chilly air this weekend.